A little dirty today. Alright, so we have an iPhone 11 here. Oh my gosh. Alright, we have an iPhone 11 here with no backlight. It's actually kind of weird. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let's see. Well, you can't really see it here, but is it dead now? No, actually the buttons don't work. Okay, so I can see it. You probably can't see it, but let's do this. I'll show you how it's a little bit weird. So when it boots up, you can actually see a bright logo, and then after a few seconds it actually disappears. So these iPhone 11s, they use LCDs instead of OLEDs. I'm not exactly, so basically the technology is the same as the iPhone 8 and below, 8 Plus and below, in terms of the backlight system. So we're gonna try to, so the backlight's kind of dead now, which is really strange. Yeah, so that's really strange. I'm not exactly sure why that is. But we're going to see if we can figure out what the hell's going on here and maybe fix this thing. It's getting a little bit hot here. It's actually getting really hot. Right here, it's getting really hot. So I'm uncertain about what the exact issue is. Anyways, I guess I'll just kind of go over like what I found, and then we kind of go from there. Okay, so this is the logic board of the iPhone 11. It looks like it is sandwiched. I'll show you with my iCloud locked one, but this is an iCloud locked one right here, and you can see that there's an interposer right here, and there's two logic boards here. So this one is definitely, yes, it is sandwiched, and in order to fix something in the middle, you'll have to separate the boards, which leads to another issue. So for this phone, you can see that, well, you can't see it, but this is the LCD connector, I'm telling you, and then this is the digitizer connector, it looks like. And ZXW doesn't really have a whole lot of information on it right now. When I say a whole lot of information, I mean diode mode. So we are forced to compare, and based on my probing already, it looks like these are data filters over here, display filters, and then these 6 pins are the backlight system. So there's two separate backlight systems: cathode, anode, cathode, cathode, anode, cathode. All right, so these are the two anode pins right here that produce the backlight. So this whole thing is black. So that's really strange. And if I diode mode the two anode pins, I'm actually getting 0.5, which is actually normal. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with this thing. It looks like the backlight system is contained within this one logic board as well. Doesn't look like it goes down to the interposer at all or anything like that. So the question is, what is causing the backlight to work in the beginning and then die in the end? And just based on diode mode, it doesn't really. Diode mode says that the backlight systems are fine. So my only guess is that maybe it's these two coils here, but it doesn't really make sense that both coils will blow. So I'm not really sure what's going on right here, but I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to lift the shield actually, which might be a little bit of a challenge because you don't really want to use heat. You don't want to use too much heat to get the shield off because you may end up separating the boards, which is really going to suck. So Let's see, is there an easy way to take this board off without using too much heat? Doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. So, I'm not exactly sure what my plan of action is at this moment. But let me take some of this black stuff off. It's just weird that both, there's no backlight at all, and only after the screen, the phone is kind of booted up a little bit, So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense right there. I mean, to me, that tells me that maybe it's like one of the other lines that messes up with both backlight systems. So, anyways, the backlight stuff is right behind this shield right here. So I just need to get this off without melting the boards. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. So that's kind of like the great unknown right now. Is this even for this or not? Well, I'm going to turn this on, my preheater on, and see what I can do. I don't even think this works for this. Yeah, I don't think this is for the iPhone 10, and yeah, this is not for the 11. So, but maybe I'll just use a little bit like that. And then I think I'm gonna try to use like really like high, not high heat, but low heat, and quite a bit of speed. So I'm gonna go up to 400 and 100. And we shall see how it goes. 400 and 100 and the preheater. And I think I'll probably kind of clamp this down just a little bit. Just to kind of hold it in place. Even though this is not really meant for this. We shall see what we can do. Alright, so this is going to be kind of a delicate process here. I'm going to try to just get the top layer here and see if I can release it without destroying anything. Oh, actually, no. I mean, if we happen to release this top board, that's fine. Thing is, I can't even get under this thing. So this is going to be interesting. Yeah, this is interesting, man. Oh, schnizzle. If there's a low melt there, then how the hell should they get this up? Oh, see, the board's already moved already. So maybe we should just take the top board off. Dang it. Alright, let's just take the top board off. I think that might be our best bet. Otherwise, we're going to risk really doing some major damage to this where we can't recover from it. So, alright, top board's already pretty much done, so we're just going to pop this off. Oopsies. Hey Google, turn smoke on. Oh my. Looks like that is cracked actually. Is it cracked? Oh yeah. Interesting. So it looks like this is cracked. Wow. Pretty sure I didn't do that. So maybe this is the underlying issue right here. And it looks like that is cracked. Huh. Wow. So, huh, that is weird. How in the world did that get cracked? Jesus Christ. How did that get cracked? I mean, could that be causing all the problems? I mean, this looks like a probably audio amp. You guys can't even see it. Sorry about that. Here you go. You can see it now, but look, this looks like probably an audio amp. Yeah, audio IC. And then I have no idea what this is. So how in the world did these crack though? So maybe if I take, I don't know what the hell that is though, but I definitely need to replace that and then that. Oh, well, I do have a donor board here, but do I really want to use this donor board to fix this problem? Yeah, I probably should, right? Wow. That's a very strange issue, man. I mean, how could this... Well, first off, how did that crack? And then how did... Maybe this? Huh. That is odd. That's weird. Okay, anyways, I guess let's just go ahead and do it. I don't really know what else to do here. Maybe we'll get lucky and we can find these parts on another board that we have donor parts more readily available for. Alright, let's just take this off real quick. So I think I'll probably just be a little safe here and I'll cover stuff up. So I don't think 509, that may be the iPhone 8 audio amp, but I don't think that's the iPhone 7 audio amp, but we'll see. So just remember the triangle is at the top left. I just don't understand how this would be causing the backlight issue though. I think I need to grab it from this side. No! Well, I definitely just pushed everything away. Dang it. Sucks. Now I am forced to put all these little fucking components back. Which, it's always a pain in the ass. Wow. Alright, let's clean this up. Jesus. Well, that looks like a backlight filter. A backlight IC actually. Dot is at the top left. Well, top right. Okay. Alright, let me pause it real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and separate my iCloud locked donor board so I can harvest these chips. Although, you know what? Let's see if these chips are, if I can find these chips maybe on iPhone 10 or something like that, because I have plenty of those. So there's a 338S00509. Okay. Let's see. I suspect that this is probably the iPhone 8. 5. This got to be an iPhone 8 audio IC, right? Alright, let's see if we can find an 8 here. Alright, here's an 8 Plus with the audio IC missing. Alright, let's look it up online, see if we can find something. Maybe it's on the X as well, who knows. Let's see, audio IC iPhone 8 is, let's see, okay, nope, 295, this is 508. Alright, so it's not the same. So, unless that's a small one, yeah, it looks like it might be the small one. Nope. Alright, let's see if it's the iPhone X, the iPhone 10 logic board. If that is the case, then we can definitely harvest it from there. So let's see. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm looking at it right here, and Let's see. 248. Nope. Damn it. Alright, so it doesn't look like it's on 10 either. So I guess maybe I'll just have to take it from the iCloud lock board. So that's what I'll do. So it looks like, let's see, where's there a good place to squeeze in here? I guess any one of these corners with the big holes in it. So once this is good, this doesn't really quite fit here. So anyways, we'll just do what we can with this board holder here. Okay. Okay, I think it's like done, so I'm just gonna do what I can to lift this up without messing up too much. Even though this is our lock board, it's not a big deal. Dang it. It's not very easy to get hold of here. Here you go. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off, and then I'm just gonna use this donor board right here to get the audio IC and whatever chip that is, and hopefully that'll fix everything. Hopefully, if I'm lucky. So I guess maybe I should probably order them from AliExpress if they have them. Otherwise, just get a few donor boards back. Okay. So just be careful lifting this thing, because it's no easy way to grab it. So I'm just gonna harvest these two, reball them. Hopefully. I guess I'll probably need some stencils too. 338S00509. It looks so familiar though, but okay, that was pretty clean, and then I'll take this one off too. Okay. Okay, so let's put these aside here. Reball them. So before I'm going to pause it real quick because I need to look for these chips before I install them and stuff. 338S00509. Okay, I'm going to look for these somewhere so I can buy them. Alright, well, I can't seem to find this chip anywhere. So I guess donor boards it is right now until they can get these chips available. So that's really going to suck. But hopefully, this audio chip doesn't fail too often on these boards, but I guess it's possible. I don't even know if this is the issue. I mean, how would an audio chip cause a backlight problem? But maybe the backlight problem is related to the other chip. And the other question is, how did a chip in the middle layer get damaged? Even with a drop, I don't suspect that it'll do that, so let's see. Okay, so it looks like, okay, so it looks like the iPhone 7 audio IC. Actually, is this an iPhone 7? You know what? Let's just take a look real quick. Pretty sure this is not an iPhone 7. Oh, let's see. Let's get an iPhone 7 logic board here. Audio, I see. Okay, it's iPhone 7. Nope, it says 105 338 S00105. Okay. Oh well. Anyways, you can reball it using the same stencil as the 7 and 7 Plus. Okay, that's fine. That helps a little bit. Oh, this is really crusty. Oh my god, it's so crusty. Too crusty, dude. Yeah, it's not good. It's too crusty. Let's see, this one still needs a little bit of work. Okay, so everything else is pretty good. Okay. Alright, that looks pretty good. Not perfect, but that'll work. Alright, yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so let's reball the other one real quick. And this one doesn't look too bad. Okay. So this is a 4-pronger. I don't know. See if we have a stencil for it. A 4-pronger. There you go. So it looks pretty good. It's perfect. Clean that up a little bit. Okay. That's not looking too good right there. Yeah, no. I think my shit's a little dirty. Problem is if I get some new problem is that if I get some new paste right now, it is going to be even worse because it's going to be too fluxy. So I'll see what I can do. Alright. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, I think this will be okay. Okay. Looks good. Let's see. Okay, where's our board at? I think it's this one. Top left and top right. So we will get the big one on first. No, let's get the small one on first. So this one's a top righter. It's not perfect, but okay. Do this. Alright, that's one. Be very gentle. And this is a top lefter. Okay. Let it cool down a little bit. Alright, everything looks pretty good. There's just one capacitor here that's kind of missing. Or I don't know if it's capacitor or what, but let me just compare it. Okay, so I'm just gonna reassemble this thing now. So it looks like Mechanic also made a iPhone 11 preheater as well, which I just purchased. So it's gonna take probably a few weeks to get here. But yeah, I don't even know if this is gonna fix the issue or not. Is the problem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna inspect it real quick, just to make sure everything's okay with it. Looks pretty good. Alright, that looks really good. Maybe a piece of fuzz or two, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is put a little flux on it. While it's heating up. The more the better, I think. Okay. And then we shall get ready to sandwich it. Ooh, the smoke. Okay, so let's just pop it back on if we can. The flux is just smoking. So get it on and then try to get it as even as possible, I guess. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it's... Alright, let me just double check under the scope, make sure it's like kind of level all the way around. And then I will compress. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, looks pretty good. So let's just use our little tool here and push down on it gently. Okay. One final check to make sure it's level. Everything looks pretty good. Yep, looks pretty good. Okay, so let's take it off now and then let it cool down as we push. Okay, let's turn this off. Looks pretty good. Shouldn't take but a few seconds for it to for the solder to basically solidify. So I think we are good. Let's look under a scope just to make sure everything looks pretty good and it's not popping up or anything. If it is popping up, we'll just heat it back on there. Looks like maybe the side's popping up a little bit. It's not great. Alright, let's just stick it back on here for a little bit and then we'll push down on this side. Let me see if this side is fine. Ooh, it's hot. Oh, man. Okay. Don't have a whole lot of time to push. Let's look at it again. Make sure it's a little bit better this time, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. I mean, it's not great, but I think it's good enough, probably, yeah. Well, I'm not sure about... I mean, it's not bad. Okay, I'll show you guys. So this side looks pretty good, right? You don't really see any gaps, and then you turn it on this side, and you see, yeah, that's not really making contact right there. and this is kind of barely, so I think we need to put it back and reheat it, and then spend a little more time on it. Okay. So that side is fine, but this side is not good. I guess the question is, how in the world did that crack anyways? How in the world did that chip crack in the middle of the board? Better work quick, my friend. Let's look at it again. Looks a little better, but still not great. Man, holy crap, why is it definitely not great? Anyways, maybe we should just see if it works or not. Yeah, let's see if it works. Okay. Pause. Okay, I'm not quite sure where I even left off here, but this is probably going to be a pretty long video. Anyways, I turned it back on, and sure enough, Apple logo came on, and then the screen went dark. So the backlight, I know the backlight's not working, and I mean, yeah, it's really dim, and let's see. So I guess my initial guess is that it would be the coil, because I can't increase the brightness, but I'm not really sure about that, because it looks like on these iPhone 11s there's two backlight systems. So generally speaking, if one backlight system works, then you'll get a half dim screen, or just a spot on the screen that's dim, But the fact that both of them are dim is just kind of weird. And then, we saw that damage with the audio IC and whatever other chip that was. It's just kind of weird. Okay, so here's where I'm at right now. Okay, one thing I didn't show you guys taking off this damn shield, but I don't think there's really an easy way to take this freaking shield off right here. Where is it at? So the shield. Okay, so the shield for the backlight system is right here. Okay, and it also houses Hydra. I'm gonna show you under a scope. Okay, so this is it right here. So as you can see here, there's 1612A11. These are two backlight ICs. These are the two backlight coils, and these are probably audio amps right here. And I don't know what the hell this is over here. I'm not quite sure what that is, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. I guess these are coils probably for the audio amps. Okay, so two backlight. No, actually, I'm sorry. These are actually part of the backlight system as well. This coil right here, and I think somebody had determined that this is for the flash or something like that. So anyways, there was no easy way to get this damn shield off. I mean, because they're using the low melt between the two layers, and then this is definitely not low melt. So I ended up having to separate the boards again in order to get this shield off, because the heat that I was going to use to get the shield off was going to separate the low melt. All right, And so anyways, so that's something that you're going to have to contend with when you're dealing with these iPhone 11s. Alright, so here's where we're at right now. Okay, so I booted this sucker up with just the top board, and it does boot up, no problems. It looks like it just kind of reboots every once in a while, but I can see you can't see it, but I can see the screen, and it works. The touch works and everything, but the backlight doesn't work. Okay, so what I have done is, so I get this carrier update failed. Looks like Face ID's failed, but the screen actually turns on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I plugged it into. I just want to make sure the screen is definitely working. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure the screen is on. That's one. And then if you looked at ZXW tools, you'll see that. Let's see. Okay, so the backlight pins are here. These are the two anode pins. Okay, so I'm just going to do, well, I'll show you both of them first. So it's cathode, anode, cathode, cathode, anode, cathode. Those are the two backlight systems. Okay, so let's just work with this one for now. All right, so this is probably the backlight filter right here. This filter leads to the coil. Or I'm sorry, let's see, it leads to the diode, a big capacitor. Actually, hold on, let me double check. Yeah, sorry, this is the diode, this is the capacitor, this is a big capacitor, and these are small capacitors. Alright, filter, smaller capacitors, diode, and then diode leads to the coil, okay, which boosts the voltage. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you have to make sure that the screen is on so the backlight is on, okay? So, basically, you just want to look at the screen just to make sure it's on, okay? See that you can see something on the screen. Put your multimeter in diode mode. And then I'm just going to measure the voltages of both sides. So this one's 4 volts right here, and then this one is 20 volts. Okay, so it looks like this side is turning on, but this side is not turning on. So I guess it's possible that half the backlight system is working, which is causing the whole screen to go dark. Okay, so I mean, just kind of looking at it, just looking at the IC and the coil and stuff like that, it all looks fine. I mean, but there's obviously something going on with it that's not turning on. Okay. So since this cap is not short, I mean, I guess it's possible that this diode is busted. But we can easily check that by just doing diode mode on both sides, or just comparing it to this side. I think it should be roughly a 0.7 voltage drop across this diode in diode mode. All right. It could also be a cold joint under the IC, because IC doesn't really look burnt, or it could be a bad IC, or a bad coil. All right, so it's gonna be one of those three things. But here's the thing: diode mode tests fine from the connector, so I would probably rule out the IC and the diode at this point. My guess is that it's probably this coil right here, and most likely a cold joint or something like that, because it doesn't look burnt to me. But and there's really no way to test the coil aside from replacing it. I think replacing it is probably the easiest thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just replace that coil, because that is easy, and we'll see if it works or not. So let's disassemble this mother. Yeah, it's not very easy to work with this thing. I mean, it's probably going to be, and this is the 11, so I don't know I don't know how it's going to be with yeah, I don't know how it's going to be with the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. I just don't know how that's going to work. But okay, so here's my setup here. I'm going to go ahead and just take this coil off, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I guess I'll probably use a little protection here just for the hell of it. So I'm at 400 degrees Celsius with an airflow of 40. And that's kind of been my thing. I've swapped out. You know what? Let's go ahead and test this coil real quick before we do anything, just to make sure. So diode mode. You can probably just do, ground, red on ground, and then one on each side. So that's 0.43. And that's, well, this is kind of hot right now, so it's kind of fluctuating. But it's right around 0.35. So let's see what this is again. 0.47. hold on a second. 0.48, 0.5, 0.6. It's going everywhere. 0.52. So let's just double check on this one. My gosh, what the hell is going on here? Maybe this diode is bad, or I don't see. Let's just do this, man, because I don't know what's going on. Let's just measure it. So it's OL on one side, which should be right because it's supposed to restrict the current flow. 0.20. Okay, so let's do it on this side. OL. OL. What the hell's going on here? .57. 0.7. OL and 0.2. Something's wrong there, I think. Shouldn't be that off, really. .358, 0.53, 0.5, 0.5, huh? 0.51, 0.54, 0.55. It's fluctuating. 0.54. Is this short? I don't think this is short, but I also don't think this is bad. OL 0.21. No, this is 2 volts. It's very strange. I'm not sure what's going on here. This is weird. Maybe it's, well, let's just check diode mode on the connector again. 0.55, 0.54. Okay, let's just go ahead and replace this coil like we initially intended and see what happens. It's kind of strange, actually, that I'm getting these weird diode mode readings. It could very well be the IC that's screwed up. Well, it does look like it was probably this that was jacked up. So let's take this off. I mean, it would kind of make sense because it was impact that caused this problem to begin with. Okay, so let's just measure it again with this thing off and see what happens. 0.23, 0.42. I think those are both correct. But what I'm still uncertain of is why this keeps fluctuating. Alright, let's put a new coil on. And I think we'll just use one of the regular coils for the backlight. For the whatever 6. I gotta find it. Backlight, okay. So we actually have a mini one here. Just kind of have to make sure it doesn't ground out. But anyways, I like to tin it a little bit before I stick it on. Alright. Alright. So the good news is that we can test this without reassembling it, you know. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna, where the hell did this come from? So I'm gonna put my these are such a pain in the arse to deal with. Okay. Okay, so let's turn it on, see what happens. So if it stays bright, then we're good. I guess I could probably measure the voltage too, but nope, it went dim again. So I think probably the next step is probably the IC. So I think what I'll do is just measure the voltage again, even though I probably know what the answer is. So let's just go ahead and measure the voltage real quick and see what happens. 20 volts actually. Huh, the hell? I'm getting 20 volts on both sides. That's weird. I was definitely not getting 20 volts before. Weird. 20 volts and 20 volts. So that doesn't really make sense at this point. Strange. I'm not really sure at this point. Maybe the ICs, but well, if I'm getting 20 volts, here, and the only thing that gets is to the filter, then maybe the filter is bad. But that doesn't really make sense either. That doesn't really make sense, dude. I think I'll probably change the I'm not really sure at this point. It's weird. Let's see. What else do I do? I guess maybe. Let's see. What else do I do? Let's just change the IC, man, screw it. Because I think that's probably the easiest, and I don't know what else. The diode mode is fine. Yeah, diode mode is fine. It's very strange. This is very strange, my friend. 53. 53. These are all good. When in doubt, change the IC. Okay, that's what we'll do. Change the IC. Pretty sure these ICs are exactly the same as the other ones, so strange. But how would both ICs go bad? So that doesn't really make sense at all. And it's not like the backward doesn't work. It works when you initially boot it up. But the screen is dim. I really don't think it's this IC, but it's just strange. Alright, so let's just note that the dot is at the top right in this orientation. Yeah, I don't think this was bad. So that really sucks. And why would both backlights go bad, you know? So that doesn't really make sense either, you know? It just doesn't make sense at all. So let's just double check to make sure that the backlight is correct. Let's see, backlight IC, okay. Which is 9A. Let's see, is this the same? (3539A0). That's a 6S. Let's see if we can find a 7 one. Although I think the 7 is the same. Okay, 3539A1, okay. Someone's calling. Okay, so looks like the chip is the same as the 7 plus 8 plus. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this back on and see what happens. Even though I highly doubt. You know what? Before we do that, let's just diode mode some of this stuff. See if we can find something out. See what the hell's going on here, man. Alright. Alright, let's just take a look at the. Make sure we're supposed to get. Okay, I'm actually gonna bring up 8 on my other computer here. Just gonna bring up the 8 so I can kind of see what I'm supposed to get in terms of diode mode readings. Okay, so this is just kind of flipped over. So I'm just gonna flip it over like this. Okay, so I'm basically using the 8 schematics on one computer here, and I'm just gonna diode mode this 5533308. Oh, this is shorted actually. This should not be shorted. Oh no, 36. Okay. 37. Okay, that's fine. Oh well. 36. Okay. These should be ground. Yep. Oh well. Yep. 35. 35. Yep. Let's see. 36. 35. 5, 7. 3, 2. 36. Okay, it all looks pretty good, so I don't know what's going on here at this point. Anyways, let's just go ahead and put this back and see what happens. I mean, it's just, at this point, doesn't really make sense, you know, like, I mean, if I'm getting 20 volts, then the screen should be lit up. Alright, let's try it again. I bought this charge port from Mobile Centrics, and it says premium, but this thing is just, it's bent on one end. I think I bought 2 of them, and they were both bent, but this one actually, like, maybe works enough. So, anyways, there. So much for your premium. So, anyways, I'm starting to wonder if maybe there's another factor here from turning the backlight on. You know, I think there is. There's got to be another. All right. Anyways, I think there is. I think there's another factor in play here. Okay, so you can see it, and then it just kind of goes, and it's gonna go dim after a little while. So the backlight actually works. Yep, it's dim again. So I think there's another factor in play here, and it probably has to do with those 2 cracked chips that we saw earlier. But yeah. So I don't really know what else to do here. I mean, I really don't know what else to do here. Backlight systems are working. Yeah, I guess I could try to replace the 2 diodes, but if I'm getting 20 volts, the diodes should no longer be in play, really. Maybe it's possible that these 2 pins are bent in, maybe? Maybe I'll just try to bend these back. Oh man, that's hot. Let's try to. See, it doesn't really make sense because I am getting 20 volts. So if I'm getting 20 volts, then it should be on. But I feel like I'm missing something here. And you know, when we initially opened it, these two chips were cracked. So it's got to be like something else that's causing it to go dark. Maybe that right there or something. Or like, what is this coil here? I mean, what is this coil? Let's see. Let's see. What is? Okay, so this was. I gotta pee. All right, since I don't really know what else to do, I'm gonna and then since let's see, since this chip was cracked, this chip was cracked. This is the display IC. I don't know how the display IC can cause the screen to go darkish, but I don't really know what else to do because I'm getting 20 volts here and here, and if I'm getting 20 volts, then uh, I don't know if I'm getting it at the pin, but I did push those pins out, so maybe I should test that. I'm gonna test the screen one more time after pushing those pins out, and then if it still doesn't work, then what I'll do is replace the display IC and see if that fixes it or not. This is gonna be a really long shit right here. Okay, so that's what I'll do. Because I don't really know where else to go with this. I mean, I keep saying that, but I really don't know where else to go. Because the backlight is fully bright, since I'm getting, when it initially boots up, it's fully bright. So which is why I think that there might be another problem with it. Some other line that kind of like maybe saves the saves the battery from draining, maybe, or something like that. Now it doesn't turn on at all. I didn't really do anything now, did I? Let's see. It's definitely booting up. Stupid thing is. I have no clue at this point. Let's see. Why is this not turning on now? Because I have not done anything since I initially started it up. Oh, what is that? Did I just screw up this? I don't even think I did anything, so maybe I screwed up the screen. Weird. That's odd. Okay, let's try another. Let's try the other screen that I have here and see what happens. I have no idea what just happened here, because I didn't do anything to it. Huh. Why is it white now? Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make sense. Okay, backlight is off, but screen is working. Okay, I don't know what's going on at this point. Because I didn't even touch it, and it was. Let's see, what could it be? It's awful. Not exactly how I envisioned spending my entire day. I'm actually kind of curious as to what this chip does. Oh, okay. It was the display I see all along. Because it should have dimmed down by now. Oh, no, still dark. But it's weird. It's actually acting a little bit more weird now, actually, yeah. Ugh, backlight's still out. How's it even possible? Man, oh man. Okay, let's just measure the voltages one more time, and then I think I'm probably just gonna call this a day because I don't really know what the fuck's wrong with it. All right, display is definitely on. 20 volts there. 20 volts there. I just at this point I just have no idea what. I mean, it's probably like an I2C line or something like that that's causing it. Right. So something upon boot up, some I2C line is being shorted or something like that. Which is causing this mess. Some I2C lines being shorted. Yeah, that makes sense. So the question is, what line is it? And how do we fix it? So let's take a look at these I2C lines. But I've already diode moded everything, so that doesn't really make sense. So these are the two I2C lines involved with. So I guess it's possible it could be the other backlight IC, but that doesn't. Yeah, I guess it could be. So this doesn't really share it. So I think what I'll do is, but I'm getting 20 volts, so that doesn't really make sense. But let me just take this IC off, and then I'll probably just leave it off, really. Uh, Definitely turning out to be a nightmare, because I think I'll take this coil off too, actually. Or you know what? What if it's Hydra? Oh, that looked fine. So this will disable. I believe this. If I take this off, it'll disable the entire backlight system from getting power. So let's just see. This one was fine. The other coil was definitely bad before. But I don't know what else would be causing this. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I just don't know what else could cause it to go dim. Just doesn't make sense to me, man. It's like after boot up, it doesn't want to stay bright. Now it's all dim. Okay. Okay, so let's just put a brand new one on there and see what happens. Brand new coil and brand new. So maybe it was that one side that was causing everything. But I'm pretty sure the coil was fine. But we're going to stick a new one on there anyways. Yeah, I'll just stick another one on there. Alright, well, I'm not exactly sure where I left off with this phone, but ultimately I did get it working. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so anyways, so the backlight problem was actually not, I don't think it was actually a backlight problem, unfortunately. So I don't know where I left off with it, but I think in the process of working on the backlight, and the Apple logo would come on fully bright, and then during the boot up process, it would dim and go dark. And I tried it with another screen, and it was the same thing. And I tried both screens on another phone, and the screens were fine. Okay, and the screens were fine basically. So what ended up happening was that I don't know if this is. I didn't go back and retest it, but I think the front camera flex has to be connected in order for the backlight to work. So, anyways, going through um, the whole process of replacing the backlight system was ended up being a huge waste of time. Basically, actually, you know what? That's not true, because I think the coil was actually cracked for one of the backlight, for one of the sides. So I did have to replace that coil. But if you're getting 20 volts, at the anode, then you can assume that the backlight is working fine. Okay. So I guess that was, my initial hunch was correct. So anyways, I did end up learning quite a bit with this damn thing. So I re-sandwiched the board about 4 times. Prior to the last successful time, the service didn't work on this thing. So I reballed it one more time, and it ended up working. So this turned out to be a pretty marathon repair, and I've had about 3 of those in the past 2 days, which I've spent quite a bit of time on. And it's not really something you don't want to spend hours on one device, but this is a newer repair, and I did learn quite a bit from it. And yeah, it's been one of those weeks. So hopefully things will go a little bit smoother from here on out, and everything works on this thing. And I really just hope it doesn't come back, because I'll probably start crying if it does. Anyways, thanks for watching. So that's our first iPhone 11 repair. And it turns out the ultimate problem was the drop, which cracked those 2 chips. And the backlight problem, I think that was probably just the bad coil. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna be facing some challenges with this repair, but I think it'll get easier as they come in more and more. Okay. Big sigh. All right, thanks.